Hi everybody, it's November 11th, 2025. Receiving is in the matter of the order of transmission. Receiving often gets top bill. It gets the spotlight, and maybe that's true in the end, but and the reason I say that is because when you're giving instead of receiving, in the end you receive a sweeter deal. You receive a more gratifying outcome when you give and receive in that order. So, and I think we all know that at some capacity. So receiving is the way that we live. Receiving is the way that we navigate through life, because we receive data in the form of revelation, in the form of enhanced judgment, in the form of wisdom and healing. So receiving is definitely not unholy. Receiving is holy, and giving is holy too. It's just the manner of ways that we treat each of those sorts of transactions and transmissions. So this gets me thinking about being right. Being right, and I mean that as being correct, being on the correct side of a situation or argument. Being right is most effective when you take responsibility for being right. Many of us can only see this conclusion when we have been suffering and we have been wrong in the way we have directed our lives for so long, and that when we're finally right, we see the light, we see the door open, we see freedom. And this is almost like getting money after being poor for so long. You want to explore, you want to expand, you want to run through the streets and just throw your attention and your money and your confidence all around. And yes, sometimes it is great to indulge on this windfall of being right, of making progress in your life. But as you get older, you notice the responsibility that is required of being right. It is not exactly having restraint, but it is being more economical with how you use it. Because, and this gets me into the second part of the discussion, is like, because you're right, it does not mean your actions foregoing are excusable. If you are right and you want to subject somebody else that doesn't know, or who's acting, in your opinion, unaccording to your truth, you want to subject them to your personal brand of oppression, your personal brand of judgment, your personal brand of education, you have lost the true reward of being right, because you have just placed yourself in being wrong in the service of being right. So that's the responsibility of being right. And it's quite simple to see what you have to do in order to be correct and right at the same time. It is to have understanding that people are at different stages, even on the same timeline. We are parallel to each other at different stages. And just because someone does wrong, they might not know they're doing wrong, but you have been through what they have been through. They haven't arrived at your parallel position yet. So to judge them and to subjugate them to oppression and abuse is not just. It foregoes the wealth of being right. So we must have mercy and patience with others and even ourselves. And another facet of this conclusion about being right is that no matter how right you are, no matter how big and expansive the revelation is, there's always something more greater, or something greater in terms of the unfolding of that truth. Because you may have gotten the truth, you may be right, but you may not be as right as you thought you were. there may be more contingencies attached to that knowledge, that wisdom that you have, and you may find yourself being unfortunate for putting all your savings in that truth, because what you may find is that later on, that was the easy way out, or that was the unjust way out, even though you were right. That was the trick that you must go through to learn. And then what this does, it weighs you down because you get to be weary, and being right doesn't have its appeal as much anymore. And you may get so stressed out and so overwhelmed that you get called by the sweet siren of being purposefully wrong, purposefully hateful. And so being right has turned you into something that you never wanted to be or thought you could become. That is why you have to be responsible with the benefit of being right. And so this is just a way to look at things. We have to all come to our own conclusions about where we are and how our wisdom is applied. But being right often costs more than we know, and being right often is used as an excuse for unjust, unloving behavior. So I hope this helps. Thanks.